Check, check. My guest is ready, yeah? Yes.
Become smart and
Good afternoon, one and all. I'm Pavandeep Kaur, Assistant Professor, Department of Fashion and Apparel Design, T. John College. The most valuable resource that all teachers have is each other. Without collaboration, our growth is limited to our own perspective. Our future success is directly proportional to our ability to understand, adopt, and integrate new technology into our work. I can say that technology will never replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers is transformational. I would like to start the session with this quote. I would like to welcome you all to this faculty development program on advancement in Illustrator software. Now it's time to introduce the speaker for today's gather. Today we have Miss D. Pavitra Basilica, Flow 3D Illustrator with us, who will help us understand more about this advanced Illustrator software. Ms. D. Pavitra Basilica, she has completed her advanced diploma in fashion and apparel design. She is having experience in freelance fashion educator, 9 years of teaching experience in the field of fashion, expert in Flow 3D software, handled minor projects like zero waste khadi, fashion draping, fine art of fashion draping, experience in making short films, experience in conducting workshops. We welcome you, ma'am,
Thank you so much.
for the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So first of all, thanks to T. John College and Hindu ma'am for giving me this opportunity. And yes, I'm Pavitra, the Flow 3D instructor. So today we're going to talk mostly about Flow 3D, what exactly you're going to learn through Flow 3D and what and all Flow 3D has to offer. So I would share my screen and then we can move on from there. Okay. So yes, as I said, today's topic is Flow 3D, the fashion design software. So what and all you get to learn through Flow 3D and what and all Flow 3D has to offer you is what we're going to see through this entire PPT. After the PPT, I'm going to do a small demo on the software as well. So please make sure that you stay here to see all the demo and the information about Flow 3D. So moving on with a small introduction about Flow 3D. Flow 3D was introduced in 2009 by Solomon Kim. It was majorly introduced for fashion industry, but then long back at 2009, none of us used to know about other softwares which was available in market. Most of us, we knew only Photoshop or CorelDRAW, maximum of those. And then people who knew about it were using it for animation purpose, gaming purpose, and like creating ads or promos or so on. So that's how it actually worked. And now due to pandemic, many of us got to know how Flow 3D is and what exactly you can do through it. Many of them out there don't even know about it yet. They just know it is, basically a creating 3D garment. But Flow 3D is a lot more than that, and that's what we're going to see today. So also there's something called Marvelous Designer. So this is another parallel software where you get to learn the similar things. You get to work with similar things, similar tools, and the working process. So Marvelous Designer is by Flow 3D itself, and the difference between both the software is just the formats, like saving formats, and also the updates. So if you get an update today on Flow 3D, you will get it after a month in Marvelous Designer. So that's how the softwares work, and both are similar, so you can do the same job on both the softwares. Flow 3D is mostly into fashion because the formats and the way the setup is done is for fashion industry, and that's what we're going to see. And let me talk about the latest version. So Flow 3D has the 6.1 version, which was released 3 weeks back. And what is that something which you can work with latest version is additional avatars you get. So these are called avatars. The figures what you work here in the software are known as avatars. So basically you can change the features a little bit. You can also change the color skin tone of it. You can apply the lipsticks, and you can change the hair color. All of this can be done through it. Previously, other versions of this software didn't have these options where we had to do it manually, but here they have included in the software itself. And moving on to Substance Fabric. So what is Substance Fabric is basically a new collaboration with the Adobe. And then these fabrics are very realistic, more than what is available in Flow. So when you apply these fabrics on the garment, once you're done with your project, they look very realistic, and they also come with some 3D, kind of a surface. So it looks more realistic is what I'm trying to tell you. So Substance Fabric is something newly introduced, and it's doing wonders in Flow. Next is you can also extract a tech pack. So basically this is for fashion industry, I would say, because they prefer working with tech packs and spec sheets. So here you can also extract tech packs and you get all the details, not just developing a garment, you can also extract tech packs and work onto it. So that's a major add-on for an industry. I'm going to play a small video here for you to understand how Flow 3D actually works. So taking a basic t-shirt, what and all you can do. So having a t-shirt, you can try to explore a lot of designs. You can do a lot of things. You just need to know the software and the tools how to handle it. And of course, this is for faculties, and many of the faculties know how to do pattern making, so I don't need to talk about it. But you all know how actually you can work onto it from a basic pattern. So how we use a basic bodice and we manipulate. The similar way, if you have a very basic t-shirt and you can start working onto it. And this is what is happening here. You can see how quickly different kind of designs has been added and then manipulated, and then it has been seen so quickly. So it's not just you're doing a pattern and then you're not able to see it until and unless you stitch it and see it on a person. This software will give you right then and there, and it's very, very easy to use. You can clearly see here the person is doing here, the alteration is also happening on the 3D. So that's how it works on Flow 3D. Making a panel, adding a waistband or the elastic, or adding a trim to it, or manipulating. It's actually very, very easy and very basically it's easy for a student to adopt it also, because most of the time we take these technical softwares for the students, they hardly remember it because they don't get access to these technical softwares like ReachCAD, TukaCAD and all of that. But then when they take up Flow, they also learn pattern making, they also learn how to work onto it, and it's easily available where they can work onto it. So here there's another video how it works on Flow. So you basically place the fabric patterns on it, and how do you stitch it, and how the fabric behaves in the software, and applications of print with just one click. And then you can see how you can apply graphics. If you have an embroidery patchwork, you just want that to be there, you use it as a graphic and you can apply that there. And then this is for trims. You can customize your trims. You can do as realistic as possible in this software. So you can do all of that. There's a lot of things which is loaded, which you can get your realistic garment. This is something called modular configurator, where you have ready garments already available in the software like a template for you. So you can take as many as times you want and you can work onto it as you have all that available. But not all the garments are available. There are basic garments are available here where you can take them, manipulate, add fabric, add prints. You can add those garments to an existing project as well and work onto it. And that's how modular configurator works. This one is a tool where you can draw the pattern directly on the avatar, and then you can extract the pattern. This is for basically again for a student who's not good at pattern making. They can also take it up and they can draw it directly on the avatar and they can get the pattern. You can see with one click they also got the pattern, and from here they can manipulate and develop the designs. So either ways it can work. Either you draft it or you can do it in this manner. So both the ways it works. This is dart manipulation. As we all know how long it takes for us to do and explain a student to understand, and how exactly it has to fall and how it actually looks on the avatar. It takes time, and most of the time when students work on these kind of patterns, and then until they stitch and then they see it, they don't understand. Maybe they forget also by the time they finish it. But here you get to see right then and there. You also show the designs and you also get to see the actual making of it. And this is again added fullness. So slash and spread method is also been there in the software where you can do it with few clicks and you get to see until and unless you stitch it and put it on a person, how you get to see the designs. You want to do some manipulation, is it fine or not? So all that you can then and there get to understand and you can work onto it. And that's how easy it is on Clo 3D. You can see that was just so quick and how it works. Talking about fabric and trims, so Clo 3D is all about clothing. So fabric and trims are the major things which works on the garment, right? So fabric here actually behaves exactly the way how it behaves in real. So that's how a fabric behaves, because the characteristics of the fabric, basically it can be a stiff fabric or a nice flow or a shine or any texture what you want to what it has in real. It can get the same in digital as well. And sometimes you get the final result on a render window, which I'll be talking a little later. But I just wanted to tell you, when you start working on that, you get to see sometimes whether this garment was actually done on Clo 3D or was it taken on an actual person. It's going to look that realistic here. So that's how Clo 3D and the fabric works in Clo 3D. The properties are amazing. You can get to see very realistic looking garments. And trims here is loaded with a lot of trims in the software. You no need to develop anything. All that you need to do is take them and use them, and you can also customize your trims. You can add materials, different materials to it. You can change the colors. You can place them however you want, and you can work onto it. So that's about the trims. Moving on to add-ons. So add-ons, when I say there's a lot of advantages with the software, but I'm going to give you all very few of them, which I feel it's the major important one. So the first thing here is the poses, where you can develop your own poses in the software. So when you see you wanted to do a design and you have all the things there, you're doing your garments, but then the actual pose, what you have imagined, is not available in the software, then you can develop your own pose and you can save it, work onto it later or anytime you want. So there's already loaded poses are there in the software, but how many are there? Like basically 10 to 15 poses are there, and how long you'll be using the same poses. You might develop some hundreds and hundreds of designs, but for all the designs you won't be using the same poses. So you have this option where you can do that as well. And moving on to fabric. So here, this is for industry. I would say the rest of the slides which I'm going to talk right now is going to be for industry. So a fashion industry, basically they work with different kind of fabrics. So every company has a unique fabrics, right? So even if it is a cotton, they have varieties of cotton. So when they work with the software, everything is fine. But then what about the fabric? So if they have some fabrics, what they work with, they can also load that fabric in the software and it will behave exactly the same how it behaves in real. So they can load as many as fabrics they want, and then they can do the patterns and then they can extract it. So this option is also majorly there for fashion industry. They can load it and they can use it. And here you can see you can also extract the the layouts. So you're not just doing a pattern and you're doing a design. So after that, what? You have to do it manually, your patterns. It's not like that. You can extract the patterns completely from the software because you are working on real size garment. It's not that it's just a software, so it is just working as it is. It just works like other softwares. Here you're working with the actual size of the pattern. You can customize whatever sizes you want. You can grade it and all of that. And you can also extract your patterns, and then you can rearrange them, or you can go with the automatic arrangement, and then you can take the print on the plot and it is ready to cut on the fabric and stitch. So this is also a major thing for an industry. This is grading. So here you can see auto grading, how auto grading works, and then you get to see types of gradings can be done, and even a logo and any kind of a graphics you're adding, even the trims, everything can be nicely graded neatly, and you can immediately see how the garment looks like. This is colorways. So again, industry works with different kind of colorways, right? So one garment with different colors and different prints which they work with. So here it works very seamlessly that you can have different kind of projects happening in one project itself. So here they no need to depend on different file, go there and change all of that and all that. One design, if they change, and everything is automatically done. So that's how easy it works in Clo 3D. And also you can take these images, all the angles, so you can use it for your websites in case if you're working with, so you can have all the angles of a picture. So if you're using it for your tech pack, or anything anywhere, you can take all of these images as well. So you can extract as much as possible from the software and you can work. You're just doing one design, but you're getting so much of additions to it. So that's how it works. So you can see the images here. Okay, so this is render window. So render window is all about the final output, what we get. So as we all work to get a final look, how it looks like, whether with the proper lighting, with proper background and all the pose and everything. So render window is completely for that. So after you finish your works, so once you're done with your garment, you set up your avatar with the accessories and everything, and then you take it to render window where you can add the background, you can add the lightings, and you can give the shadow effects and make it look more realistic. So by a proper photo shoot, you can do it on render window and you can see all of this. So maybe this might not look the same in a 3D window, but on a render window, it will look absolutely beautiful because you're adding everything there with proper lighting and all of that. So also the realistic looking way of fabric. So if you see here the sequence fabric, it looks so realistic. So this is how render windows result will be. So once you finish your project, you take it to render window and you render your images. And you can see this is like a proper display. Or for a visual merchandiser, they can also use complete visual, the window display, and then with all the lightings, and then they can work onto it. So here you can see the slides are completely done on Clo, the entire window, and you can see the lights, the way the shadow, all this falls, and the way how the garment looks, the detailing of the sequence, everything is completely through Clo. So you can achieve the best out of it. Moving on to the different kind of a displays which you can do. So it's not just having on a person and then putting it on there. So it can be a different kind of a display. You can also do draping into it and you can explore a lot more thing. So here you can see I've added a 3D objects. This is not in the software where you have to take it from a different websites. And then you can pull it in and then you can work onto it. You can customize them as well. So all these options are available where you can work onto it. So any kind of a different able to hire a photographer or maybe a model to do it, you can just take up Clo 3D. You can include those prints into it and create your complete designs here and use your own creativity for your proper layouts, and you can use these images for your page wherever you're working with. So that's how Clo 3D will help you. There's no limit for imagination. It can do everything possible where you can work with. And this is a small video on render windows lighting. So it has a different kind of lightings as I've been talking about. So you get to see here, you can have an amazing exhibition kind of a setup, and also the lightings, a window display basically. And also render window is not just for images. It can also render your videos like your animation. So animation also can be rendered and you can have an amazing looking ramp walk happening with a proper focused light, and all of that can be done onto it. So this is the final result with the lighting. So that's about render window. So moving on to benefits. So when I say benefits, it's not just a fashion student who's a fashion designer, basically, who is actually doing designing the garment, and then they can majorly use this software. But it can be different categories under fashion, or maybe some more other people as well. So the first one is fashion stylist, where we all know fashion stylists develop a lot of crazy looking style statements. They do a lot of things. They do a lot of research. They go and look for different unique kind of garments, or get it done if they don't get it, and then doing a lot of taking a lot of effort to get the look what they want. And then everything can be done on Clo. The way you waste your time here, you go there, you look for things and you work on it. Of course, hands-on experience is important, but once you have a little bit of experience, you no need to keep doing the same thing again and again. When you have a software, you can just take it up and do everything possible, because you have your avatars, you can do your garments, you just need to style whatever you like, and you can develop amazing looking images and looks into it, and amazing portfolios you can develop through this. So a fashion stylist can take up the software and do amazing looking, crazy looking statements, style statements on Clo. Moving on to image consultancies. So basically their job is to communicate with their clients, so that what they try to tell and the client is trying to understand is very much easy with Clo 3D, because here you can see there's different kind of figures. So you can also customize your avatars. So as per the client, say for example, your client is giving you a measurement, you can just add that measurement on the avatar and you can change the sizes, and you can change the skin tone of your client as well. Skin tone of your avatar as per the client, and then you can apply it here, and then you can dress up the avatar and show it to your client, and this is how you will be looking like if you wear this kind of a garment. So it's very easy to understand and communicate between the client and the designer, and then it's very easily done. So you can also extract the pattern, so you can extract and develop your designs. So it's very easy to work with for an image consultancy to work with Clo 3D, because they can get their work done just like that. Moving on to visual merchandiser, as we already saw, you can do an entire in-window display. I'm not sure how many softwares are there for a visual merchandiser that they can develop an entire window. Most of the time people end up doing it on Illustrator or Photoshop, and it's all about having images, or you're creating something from scratch on Illustrator, and that's going to be 2D, it's not going to be a 3D. But when you take it up on Clo 3D, you can set up everything with the proper measurement, proper lighting, and it's going to be much more realistic than what you do it in real. So that's how visual merchandiser can take up the software and work, as they can also convert the avatars into mannequin. So you can see how that has been converted, and they can have amazing looking window displays, develop an amazing portfolio again, and they can get it done for the final approval of the final making. Yeah. Moving on to product designers. So product designers can be anyone who knows patterns and how they can work with products, and they can work onto it. Even an interior designers can take up this software. They can get their skeletons of the products and give some life to that in this software and work onto it. I have seen some of the people have been working on Clo 3D as per their products to be rendered, or maybe add some fabric or cushion to it or something, some effects to it. So it can be anybody who knew about pattern making and who know how to use Clo 3D can use it. So this is open to anyone. It's not just for fashion industry. And jewelry designer or an accessory designers can also take it up and work onto it, but I'm not sure how much they can work, as I'm not a jewelry designer. I'm not sure about how it works, but I do create some accessories to complete the look of my collection. So in that way, we know that there is possibilities for people to take up those categories also and work on to Clo. So anything and everything can be done here. It's just that how a person utilizes the software to the max. So moving on to animation. So this is a basic animation from the software where you can customize your stage, you can customize the angles, you can customize the ramp and everything, and you can work onto it. And the entire setup, like say your avatar, the motion, the animation, the stage, all this is completely available in the software itself. So if you just have the software and you're developing your designs, you can also develop your own design, and you can also get to see your animation done, and you can record the animation also through the software itself with the different angles. In one go, you can record all this, and you saw the previous one, the color changing, all this also can be done. So it's not like one option and all that. So you can do a lot more. You can develop your entire stage also in the software and do your fashion show on that. Moving on to advanced animation. So here, advanced animation, which I mean is the motion, where you can take it from a different website and you can pull it in, import it inside Clo and put it on the avatar, and you just need to dress up your avatar and you have your motions done. So this is also possible where you can do all of this and do a lot more actually. But whatever I have explored is what I'm talking about. So here you can see we can do all of this as well. Moving on to a brand called Lavi, where they be working with these kind of a collection, and they mostly focus on prints. And due to a pandemic last year, they were not able to keep up with the trends, and they opted for a digital ramp show. So they collaborated with the digitals, and then they developed a digital ramp show. And I'm sure most of them would have seen this. It became a very viral video. Because of this, most of the people wanted to learn Flow 3D because the way it was presented and all of that. So maybe more than me talking, I'll just let you watch this completely. So I'm just sorry, just the. So yes, so what you just saw is completely not done on Flow, but the garments are done on Flow. The animation, the avatar, and the rendering is done on a different software which is called Day-3D or Day Studio. So people are actually trying to collaborate with different kind of a software, people who works with them, and then they can develop different kind of a way of animations and all of that. But you can also develop the similar things on Flow, as you just saw how you can work with Flow as well. So basically anybody, any professionals you see, if they're posting their works with different kind of an animation, you need to know that they are also using different softwares for rendering it. But then garments are completely done on Flow, and you can see how realistic the garments looks like, and the animation, the rendering and all of that. You can also achieve the similar thing on Flow itself. So here the reason behind showing you this is basically Flow can be used with different kind of a softwares, or else with a different kind of a websites and a different kind of a formats. So basically you can have Flow in your system, and you can have different kind of other things with the different formats working in Flow itself. So Flow can do a lot more thing apart from these, right? So moving on to the next, which is industry needs. So when I say industry needs, what exactly it is with the software and without the software, how an industry works. So as we all know that how industry works, right? The system actually. So I don't want to drag too much. I'm just moving on to those samples here. So sample and review is where a lot of things get stuck in industry, as the review happens again and again. Maybe there might be some garments which gets approved immediately, some of them need some minor changes, some of them need a major changes in the redo and all of that. So there's a lot of time which goes into developing samples, and what about those samples? It ends up in landfill, and then a lot of time, money, everything has been getting wasted. But when you use the software, it is very quick because everything is completely digital. As you're working with software, it's like 10% job is done by one software, and that's how Flow 3D is all about. So where you can do a 3D sampling, where the review happens quick, because whatever sampling has to be, I mean, the review has to be done, is being done then and there, and it has to be changed anything, it has been done then and there, because it's all digital. Also, you can get your patterns, you can get your layouts and your grading, your photo shoot, your everything, like what tech packs, and all of this can be done on Flow. So it's very, very easy for an industry to take it up and work onto it. And once you get the final sampling approved, and that goes for the final sampling after the review is done, whatever is approved, and that goes for the final sampling. And then it to hit the production unit and the market, it's going to be a little quick, because the time what they spend on sampling and reviewing is taken care very quickly here because of the software. And that's how Flow 3D will help majorly into for industries when they have to take it up and work onto it. And not just industry, if I would like to talk about a student, because we all are teachers and we know how we have to deliver our messages to our students. So why it is important for a student is what I'm going to talk. So basically for a student, if you are asking them to do a developer collection, so maybe a 10 garment of 10 a collection of 10 garments, will take at least 6 months for a students to do it, maybe starting from a sketch to developing the protocols, and then you do the final sourcing of the fabric, getting it done, doing the final designs, and then putting it on the model, doing the alteration, getting the embroideries done, or then doing a photo shoot and then doing a ramp show. So it might take a lot of time for a fashion student to do this. But then when they take it up this software, so they are not just learning a software, they are learning an entire package. So when I say an entire package, it means they know how to use the software first of all. Secondly, they learn how to do pattern making, because most of the students lag behind pattern making. Not everybody are into pattern making because they don't really get it actually. So because by the time they do patterns and then they go to the stitching part, they most of the thing they forget. But here they get to learn pattern making then and there, because they are doing the patterns, the manipulations, and they get to see immediate result. So they are also getting to understand how a pattern works. So that gives them more knowledge on pattern making, as well as garment construction, where to stitch, how to stitch, what type of stitches to apply, what type of trims to apply. All of this has been given for them. Draping, if they like to drape, they can also drape in it. And then moving on to the render window, where they can do a photo shoot. So when they know how to place the avatar with a different angle, what kind of a background will suit, what kind of a makeup will suit for the avatar, what kind of an accessories, what kind of a color combination. So they also learn styling when they do this, because they style their own collection. So because it's their own and they have to do it all by themselves. So they style their entire collection. They learn that. They learn the lightings. They learn the entire look of the collection and the poses. And then they start knowing how to do, what kind of a resolution they have to save it, what kind of an image, what kind of a format, everything they're getting a knowledge there. Moving on to animation. So they get to see their entire animation. They set up their entire stage. Here, when we do a show, we happen to have one setup and we have all the students, doing the show on the same setup. But when a student want to have kind of a different kind of a way of their imagination, they can develop their entire stage here. They can have a nice background in this one RAM show. They can have wherever the avatar walking for them, and they can have their garments. They can decide which way the garments to flow, what colors, what kind of a things they the avatar to hold in our hand, or what kind of a makeup. So everything they can decide. They can customize their entire thing. Choreography is of course not decided by them, it's already there, but they can still decide which kind of a choreography they can take and use it for this, and they can get the final output of it. So by knowing so much onto one software, like what they learn within 1 year, they're going to learn everything here in a short term by using the software and doing the entire thing. And then they can also develop an amazing looking portfolio. So as we know, nowadays portfolio is a major and trend that people want to see the portfolio. So a student can love to work in the software and develop an amazing looking portfolio through this software, and they are good to go to the industry, because they are also getting industry knowledge, where they can develop a pattern, they can extract the pattern, how to do grading, everything is being taught in the software for them. So there's a major thing which a student can, take it home when they learn this software with them. So that's how it is. And moving to the last slide here, which is the brands. So which are the brands using Clo right now is what I'm going to show. So these are the brands right now. So there are a lot of small brands as well which has been working with Clo, but we don't even know them by name, because I have been getting a lot of projects that people wants to work with Clo, or the students who's working with Clo. So they wanted to take it up as an intern and then work. As we know, our India is actually still getting into Clo. They're getting used to it. They are trying to adopt it. So they don't want to hire somebody immediately and then work onto it, but they wanted to definitely try how it works. So they are taking a lot of interns, and then like if it works, then they make it them as a permanent staff so that they can work onto it. And that's how people are looking for Clo 3D. And also very soon our online shoppings are going to be mostly Clo 3D's garments, because I already started working on certain projects where clients are giving us garments and a semi-nude picture of a person, and you have to wrap that Clo garment on the person so it looks more realistic. And then you won't even get to know that it was done through Clo by the time that has been put on the website, and then you just go there and you see the garment and you purchase it. But actually that garment was not owned by that person at all. It was owned by Clo 3D model, and then it was wrapped on that person. So that's how people are working with Clo. Fashion is very soon, very fast, it is moving towards virtual fashion and a digital fashion world, and that's how our brands are going to work. And very soon you're going to see that in trend. So yes, by this I'm finishing my this session. The second half I'm going to do a demo. So if you have any question, please do ask. I would love to answer. Any questions, any queries, you can ask.
Attendees, anything you have any questions, you can ask us. So you can put it in a chat box.
Unmute your mic.
If you have any question to tell, just you can put it in a chat box. Pavi, we have just one question. What is the latest version of CLO we have now at present?
A 6.1. That's what I spoke in the second slide. Yeah.
How about the subscription and all? Just we want to know about that.
Okay, so basically, a Clo comes with one month of free trial, and after that you will have to purchase the license. So per month it is $50, and per year it's $450. And in case if you are from a reputed college, you will get a discount of 50%. That's basically for a student. I'm not sure about the teacher. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Pavi.
Yeah.
One more question we have.
Yes, ma'am.
It is free or purchase software?
It's a free or purchasing software?
Pardon?
It's a free or purchasing we should do it, a software.
I just explained that you have to purchase the license after 1 month free trial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a moment, Pavi. I'll just check it with the chat box and get back to you.
Sure, ma'am. Yeah. And then if anybody would like to contact me, you can take a screenshot of this so you can get back to me at any time. And I'm also the founder of the Patent Hub. So yes, you can connect me through that as well.
That's it, Pavi. Do you have any questions? So, just a moment.
Sure.
Now I request.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, ma'am, for wonderful session. Now I request Dr. Indu GK to present a vote of thanks.
I'm so sorry. I still have another part of it. Like I'm going to do a demo. So let me finish off that as well. If you don't have any question, I'll do that.
Yeah, ma'am. Sure, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, so this is the software is what I was talking about all this while. So you get to see how a software looks like and what are the kind of tools. I'm just going to do a small garment here for you to see how this actually works in the software. Basically a little bit of demo, so whoever wants to start it up, so you can work on to it, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So this is how the software looks, and this is a 3D window with the tools and 2D window with the tools. And then we also have library where we will be picking a lot of assets from here. And there's something called history where you get to do a lot of undos from your history. Moving on to modular configurator where you have your ready garments. So let me pick a ready garment and show you how this actually works. and you get a lot of options there. So it's not like just one garment. So I just picked a ready garment here. So you can see the ready garment, and if I'm just going to rotate, you get to see how this actually looks like. And you have the patterns here. So you can just click anything and you get to see that also gets selected on your 3D. So it actually works in this manner that it works parallelly, and you know that you're doing a right thing with you're clicking on a right pattern and you're working on the right pattern. So that's how you can understand. And also something called object browser. So whatever you pick on the pattern, so it can be a fabric, it can be a trim, it can be stitches, puckering, grading, whatever you want to take it on the pattern will be loaded on your object browser. Also something called property editor, where you click on the pattern and then you get to see property editor gets highlighted. If you want to click on the fabric, if you want to change something on the fabric, click on it and then you get to see your property editor changes, and as per that you can do your changes and you can work onto it. And this is how it works. Right now it is just like a still garment. So if you want it to look like a proper flowy garment, you will have to just click on the stimulation button. So if I'm going to do this, it's going to fall down because there's no avatar wearing it. So it's just going to drop down. You can see how realistic that looks. So it just falls down, and this is a little different setup. So it goes a little slow motion, but then when you're working with a different garment with a default fabric, and then that works differently. So you can see how realistic the grid here acts like a floor, and then it just falls down. So I'm just going to delete this, as I'm going to show you a little bit of garment drafting part. Not drafting as such, because we don't have much time to sit and draft the entire thing. So I'm going to roughly do something. So don't judge me on that, because I'm just roughly going to do the garment here so that you get to see something. Just going to open avatar here. You get to see there's different kinds of avatars available. So if also one more thing, that when you have a latest version, you can get another avatar. So this is an avatar which has been added to the latest version, which is 6.1. If you have a 6.0 or 5 series or 4 series, you might get 3 avatars, 4 avatars only. So if you want all 6 avatars, you need to pick up the latest version, which is 6.1. And I'm just going to show you all the avatars here. So you can see this is Camila. All of them come with a name. She's Emma. You can see there, it's written on top there on their head, so you can see that. So this is Fefi, this is Grace, this is Kelly, and this is Maria. So you have all the avatars. So the avatars sizes are same as for the measurement wise. What is the difference is basically the skin texture and the face feature. So this is the only difference on any of the avatars. You just double click and then they appear on the screen here. You can see here they get to appear here, and then you can pick anything you want from here to customize your avatar, and then you can work as in you want to change the hairstyle. You can double click, open the hair folder, and you can double click. You can see the hairstyle has been changed, a different kind of a hair. So you can customize your avatar with different kind of looks, as well as shoes. So you can see that. All that is just double click. You just need to do double click and you'll be able to see that. So you can add different kind of a hairstyle or a shoes, or you can also add poses. So just double click and you'll be able to see that. So what I would suggest is do not change the pose in the beginning itself, because if you have to draft a pattern, it's going to be very difficult if the avatar is already into a action pose. So basically keep the avatar in a standing pose, which is a A-line pose. When you have your avatar in this pose, and then draft a garment. So maybe I'll just pick a ready garment, which is here. And then move to the pose folder. So you can see how that works, and you can see how the fabric moves. You get to see a hand tool, and then you can pull it and you can work onto it. So you can still pull it even after the pose is done if the garment is not sitting fine, and make it look proper. So all this can be done. You can also have a sitting pose, running pose, everything is available. You can develop your own poses, as I told you. So you can do all of this. You can see that. Okay, so that's about the poses, which you can develop different kind of poses for your avatars, and you can work. Moving on to sizes, you can also develop your own size, but there are some sizes already available in the software. First one is the maternity wear. So just double click and you get to see the size applied on the avatar. So whichever you prefer, you can take it and you can work on this. Moving on to other body size, body types and the sizes. So you can see all of this is available. So you can work with different kind of sizes, as well as you can have your own kind of measurements. You can apply that as well and work. You can customize it basically, and you can work onto it. Would like to move on with the other things, like you have hangers, so you can have types of hangers as well. So if you want a different kind of a presentation, you can have an hanger, and then you can pull in your garment and you can hang the garment as well. So you can finish your garment completely on the avatar, and then you can remove the avatar and pick a hanger and drop the garment onto it. So you can see now how the garment looks like. So how realistic this looks, the way I'm pulling it and it's falling. So that's how it works in Clo. So hangers can be used in a different way. Like for different garments, there's different kind of hangers. You can see them by name. And also you have kids hangers where they are tiny in shape. You can take them and use it for your kids garments as well. So that's how the garments work. And you also have a different kind of fabrics, and you also have a little bit of 2 garments on your library where you can just pick them and work onto it. Moving on to fabric, I'm just placing an arrow here and you get to see there's the texture and also the way the fall of the garment and fabric, and all of that is being seen here, and also the value. So all these details are there, every here it's been given. You can see this. So there's different kind of fabrics are already loaded in the software. You can take them and use them and work on them. Okay, so just going to delete it so I can start drafting and showing it to you. So pick an avatar, just a double click, and then I'm going to pick a polygon tool where we can start drawing the garment. You also get to see there's an outline where you can use it as your template for you to trace the garment or draw the garment on it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to draft a pattern, just going to draw something random. So just doing a flare dress, you can see that neck depth, the garment length. I'm just going to do a flare, so I've taken a diagonal. Underarm, don't make it so tight, it has to be a little away from the thing. So if you see, I have my half garment, but it's still not half pattern, it's still not complete. So I'm going to take edit curvature tool to curve the patterns. So you can do that. Neck. So you can see half the pattern is ready. Very rough for any student to understand. At least you can see here, or anybody who's planning to work onto it can just start with something very basic so that you can explore the software well. And moving on to edit pattern tool, doing a right click, I'm going to open this unfold symmetric editing with sewing, so you can open the other side of the pattern. You can see I've got the other side. Now I'm going to take a copy of it so I can do my back pattern on this. So right click, I'm going to take a copy and mirror paste. So this is how the patterns will appear. As we know that back pattern doesn't have the same. So we are going to edit it with the edit pattern tool. Right click, first I'm deleting the curves and then moving this node up and taking the curvature tool to curve the back and the back armhole. If you see, I'm doing one side, the other side is automatically getting done. So that's how it works with symmetric. And the pattern is ready actually. So now moving the pattern on your 3D window. So I'm going to use this gizmo. So this is called gizmo, where you have the circle, arcs and arrows and squares to help you to place the pattern on its location. So I'm going to use this gizmo. So I'm going to first of all flip the pattern. So when you flip, you get to see it's gray in shade because this helps you to understand the right side and the wrong side of the fabric. So these options are also available where you can do that. So previously I just changed it here because that was in a different setup. So here, when you're working on a pattern, you have to keep it on this so that you can work. So you get to know that you're doing the right thing. So now wrong side has to face the avatar at the back. So I'm just moving the pattern here. You can see I'm going to activate the gizmo and then use this blue arrow to push it back. You can see the pattern is back now. And rotate it using your right click. So you can hold on to your right click, you can rotate it. So I'm just checking all my sides, so I know I'm doing it right. Okay, so I got my patterns done. So I'm taking this segment sewing tool and just going to stitch directly on the 3D. If you're not understanding how to do it on your 2D, you can directly do it on your 3D. And you can see that. So this can help anybody to understand where to stitch, how to stitch once you start placing it. So if you see, I just did one side, the other side is already stitched because of the symmetric pattern. And then I'm just going to stimulate. And you can see the garment is ready. And the neck has become too deep, so it's going a little away. So I'm just reducing it. Okay. So you can see a very simple drafted garment here, which is a flared dress, and you have the garment here. So from here you can manipulate whatever you want. You wanted to add frills, you want to add a sleeve, you want to make it like something else, you want to do something from out of this. You can do all of that from here, and you can develop different kind of looking garments from here. And let me apply fabrics to show you. So if you want an elastic, maybe let me apply an elastic and show you. So just going to take an internal poly tool, double click. Okay, that's too low, so I'm going to move it a little high. On the waist, if you want to, taking the curve tool to curve it a little. Just doing randomly something here, so just to give you an idea. So I'm going to copy and paste the same here. So copy, paste, Control C, Control V, and place it there. Just to check if the line is fine. So now these lines, I'm going to select them and then just going to change it on the property editor to elastic. You can see that there's an elastic which has been applied. And these things will react differently on the software, like with the different fabrics. And also, if you are from an industry and you wanted to work and understand how it actually works, then there's something called fit maps for you to understand whether this garment will actually work in real or not. Because it's a software, it can help, it can give you the garment which is owned by a medium size, can be owned by a XXL as well. So how do you understand? So there's something called fit maps for an industry perspective for person to work onto it and then get the right pattern, and then they can work on this. So they can extract the pattern and then they can work on that. So just showed you a little bit of that, like adding an elastic there and then adding a fabric. So let me add this so you can see that. So this is like a velvet fabric, and you can see how the texture looks like. So just like the way how a real velvet looks. And I'm just hiding this line there. And if you want to add any other kind of a fabric, you can see how that behaves immediately. Let me add a denim. You see this, how the actual fold behaves, a little bit of stiffness happens there. So you can see that. If you want to add some organza, you can add that as well. So you can see this, and then you can take up any kind of fabric which is more flowy. You can apply that. If you want to change the color of the fabric, you can click on this and then go down. You have this color. Click on this color and color palette will appear, and you can choose whatever colors you want from here. You can see, you can choose whichever color you prefer, and you can click OK to it, so you can get your garment. In case if you want to apply a print, you just need to have, I'll get it white so that it's easy for us to apply. Print folders, so picking up any kind of a print. You can see, you can apply just with one click. You get to apply the print. You can work onto it. And it works very realistic. You can see how that behaves there. So you can apply fabric, you can change the color, you can apply prints, and you can also see apply that elastic, which I just showed you how to do that. And then, yeah, the pattern is done. So you get to save it by using a file, save project, and you can save it with whatever names you want to. Just that whenever you save something, you will get a file name as well as the image as well as this C file, which is a soft copy of it. So you get an idea that what is exactly inside this. So this is how it will work. It's not, this is not your final image. It's just a preview of what is there inside this file. So that's how you will be getting a save format. So you can just give it a name and save it, and it'll be done. So this is a very basic thing which I had given you, given an idea on. If you want to like add a pose, you can do that as well after you finish it, and then you can get to see how that actually looks. You can change the shoes, hairstyles, and all of that, and then you're good to go. So what I showed you is just 5% of what we work actually on the software, just to give you an idea that you can also develop something from here. So take it up, understand a little bit on this. You can start from here and you can develop something major. So it's a major software for a student to understand how actually they can work with and do different kind of collections as per what they like, and then they can develop a unique looking portfolios with the collections what they want. So all the creativities they can put into it, and then they can work. I also spoke about a lot of other windows on the software, so it's all here. If you see animation, print layout, colorways, and all of that is available completely inside the software itself. You don't need to look anywhere else. So you can do all the work in one software if you have it. So that's about the software. So if you have any queries, you can ask me now.
We have any virtual fashion show to show it, Vitra ma'am?
I have to develop it and it will take time, ma'am. But yeah, I have my old projects. If you want, I can open that.
Sure, we can share that, ma'am.
Sure. All right. I need to just check. Yeah. Okay, you can see my screen, right, ma'am? The red garment.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. So let me open some of my old projects in case if to show you some animation. I think I have an animation of this garment, so let me just open this. Okay, moving on to animation window. Just need to check if that's
Pavitra ma'am, we have one more question. How about the job opportunity for this courses if you completed?
That's what I said. India is still looking for people and trying to adopt it. So yes, you are getting a lot of opportunities for Clo 3D from different kind of brands. But I don't think so how good they're going to pay or how seriously they are taking you, because everybody are still clueless how the software works. People who know about it will know how actually it works and they can hire you. So it is still, people are still learning onto it. So if you give them the confidence that you can do something with this, then surely you will get a better job and in an industry where they know the value of it. So that's how it is, because people are working. I've been getting a lot of projects and I've been working. So I know that there are a lot of people who are looking for, I get a lot of requests for students for internships also. So that's how you will also be getting, mostly getting into internship first, understanding your works and how you understand Clo and how creative you are. As for that, they might take you for a full-time person in the industry. So that's how it works. So
Thank
this yeah, this garment is leaving the garment and moving. So this animation is gone, so I'll take a different one. Animation as such, I'll just do this dance video and show you otherwise, because I'm really not sure, because I keep opening it for my students to show and sometimes I might do some changes. So once you do any changes, your animations will get deleted. So that's what most of my files are, that it's leaving the garment and doing. So here you can see how dance. So in the software itself, you can do this. And it's more clear. You can see how clarity you can get here, and you can work onto it. You had a background and all of that. This we have already seen. So if I could open a different one, let me just check. Or maybe I can show you some of my these wedding collections which I've been working on. How they actually look and how they look in the picture. So you can see these garments, the sari basically. I have not seen much people working on saris or Indian wear on Clo 3D. So that's the reason I have made try to do on this. So you can see how these works, the sari and the way it has been done. So all of these are graphics which have been added on this avatar to get the best out of it. So they all look very nicely done, but it takes a lot of time to do all of this, and they all have some hidden pieces, so you can get to work with them. So so right now her accessories are getting highlighted, so you can see how this works. Let me just show you. Just increasing the opacity. So this is how I work, and then apply it on a fabric and all that. So end of the thing, I reduce the opacity of the fabric, so I get to see only the accessory stays, and the rest, what supporting things which I've given, will get disappeared, and then I get the final output of it. And we also work on render window. So the render window is here. So adding a background on the render window. This might take a little time because render window usually takes a lot of time because it has to render the entire garment, especially when you have more than one avatar. It's going to be like too much time. I have taken almost 40 to 1 hour for one image to be rendered. So that's how it works in render window. So you can see this. I've already added a lighting image and all of that. So what you see here is different here with better lightings and better way of understanding. So usually what I work is freeze all of them. So I usually freeze because by chance, if I press a stimulation, it'll all move here and there. So I don't want to risk my projects. So I freeze it. When I opened it, you saw it was all completely blue. But even if it is frozen and you take it to your render window, it'll all be seen properly. So this kind of a collections, you can get to see it, how you can work onto it. And each one of this is being done completely from scratch. Like you take a lot of things and work onto it and get some graphics and apply it. Look for a lot of images where it can support and make it look more realistic. So a lot of sourcing happens online. So again, a student can also, learn these things also with that. So yeah, that's about it. Render window has to be closed, otherwise you won't be able to close the software. Oh, the software got closed. Okay.
Thank you, Pavitra ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we are shared the feedback links for in the chat box. You can fill it for that.
Sure.
Just on behalf of Tijon College, I, Dr. Indu GK, would like to take this privilege to propose my vote of thanks on this occasion. My heartfelt gratitude and respect to our chief guest, Ms. Pavitra Visalika, for sparing her time and delivering such a commendable talk on this occasion. Thank you, Pavitra ma'am.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, ma'am. Thank you.
So we have session 4 tomorrow. Morning 10 o'clock we'll start our sessions. 10 to 10:30. Thank you.